On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Fight for Iowa podcast, brought to you by Atletico Physical Therapy, proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Big Ten Conference. Also by Iowa's Corn Farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and Iowa Corn Promotion Board. You may think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Also brought to you by Shields. We're right there with you in Des Moines, Sioux City, Iowa City, and Cedar Falls. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Iowa baseball is at the Big Ten tournament, looking to add to the season of success that saw the Hawkeyes finish strong, scoring 44 runs in a 3-game sweep of Indiana. Iowa tied for second place in the conference standings and earned the number 3 seed at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha with an NCAA regional tournament berth, hopefully at the end of the rainbow. The Hawkeyes featured great balance this season, pitching to hitting to defense in their 33 wins, 17-7 in the Big Ten, led by ace right-hander Adam Mazur and power hitters Keaton Anthony and Peyton Williams. That trio joins us on this week's Fight for Iowa podcast in just a minute. We're sponsored by Atletico, Iowa Corn, and Shields.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
Oh, you know that old injury of yours, the one in your knee or maybe back? Instead of going to the doctor and then doing physical therapy, why not start with therapy first? Atletico Physical Therapy is changing the whole healing process around. Their physical therapists will find the source of your pain and help fix it. Start with them and start living pain-free. Just like that.
It all starts with Atletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at atletico.com. No prescription needed. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Iowa baseball hit a team-strong .279, blasting 48 home runs, averaging 6 markers. The defense fielded to a .974 percentage, and that pitching staff was clean, with a collective ERA of 3.5. The left-hander, Adam Mazur, a Minnesota native, transferred into Iowa City from South Dakota State after a sparkling summer season in the Cape Cod League that saw Mazur spin a 3-0 record with a 155 earned run average. Slugger Keaton Anthony battled through a hamstring injury a year ago. The redshirt freshman from Georgia carried his weight this season, though. The Johnston High School program produced another hammer in Peyton Williams, a 300 hitter with power. The former Iowa High School Player of the Year and his teammates joined the Fight for Iowa podcast. Mazur, who credits pitching coach Robin Lunn with his development, was 7-2 for the year, 5-1 in the league, and a .259 runs allowed average. Mazur, the new guy on the block, wasn't sure what to expect, but after last fall's abbreviated schedule, he knew the Hawkeyes would be good.
That we're going to have a lot of good arms and a good bullpen, so that was kind of nice knowing going into it that it'd be a competitive pitching staff. And then it was really hard to get hitters out in the fall too, so that was also a benefit, but also kind of sucked when we're in the middle of it because it was a battle each and every day. But I feel like we've really started to hit a corner here, and things are looking up.
Keaton, give us your thoughts on the year.
I agree. In the fall we knew we were going to have a really strong pitching staff. Hitters, we felt like we were in a good place leading into the season. Obviously, I feel like pitching kind of dominated for our team this year, helped our hitters out a lot. Didn't have to produce a whole bunch of runs just to win ball games. Adam had a tremendous year this year. That's a lot of fun playing behind him. So I think overall this year, I think pitchers helped us a lot. So it was a good year.
Peyton?
Basically what they said. Pitchers have done a good job. And hitters, we're not like the most flashiest team out there when it comes to hitting. But, we really hit our stride, really found out ways to put up runs. It might not be the most eye-popping way, but we'll run pitch counts up. We'll get deep in bullpens. And I think that's really helped us offensively. And so I think if we just keep doing what we've done pitching-wise, defensively, hitting, I think we can make around the tournament and in a regional too.
Adam, an ERA of +3 on the year, a sparkling 2.59 in Big Ten play. That's That's off the charts in this weather and this kind of environment. 7-2 overall and 5-1 in conference play. Those are MVP type numbers. To what do you attribute the majority of your success this season?
Honestly, just pitching behind a really good defense. Knowing that guys are gonna go out there and hit the ball, but we have a really good defense behind, and so they've made a lot of great plays this year, and it's been a lot of fun to kind of watch that from the mound. And then just working with Robin and kind of fine tuning the arsenal and really understanding on a deeper level of how to attack hitters and pitch to my strengths.
Keaton Anthony hit .379, a .760 slugging percentage, and swatted a team leading 14 home runs with 53 batted in. Keaton, you obviously were seeing the ball awfully well, huh?
I felt like my approach throughout the year kind of stayed constant. Like I mentioned before, it's awesome hitting with our pitchers we have. Helps us just learn to manufacture runs, not try to do too much, because we know where our pitchers are going to put us in a good spot to win ball games. No matter how many runs we score, they're going to keep us in the game. But throughout the year, I feel like my approach has stayed the same. I feel like this fall, all the training with all of our coaches just kind of helped pay off, helped kind of put my swing into a good place leading into this year. And my approach throughout the whole year, every time I step in the box, is just hit the ball hard and good things will happen. And I feel like that motto kind of helped me throughout the whole year.
Peyton, you've been a model of consistency for a couple of years now. 356 average this year with a dozen homers and 38 ribbies. You played in 49 games. You've been a team leader for the Hawkeyes. How much do you embellish that role?
It means a lot. I mean, a lot of guys like look to me offensively, like ask me stuff, like try to help them out. And so a big thing is, you just gotta keep fighting through good times, bad times. You gotta keep fighting through. If something's going wrong, gotta stick with your approach, even if it seems like it's not gonna work anymore. You just gotta keep sticking with it. Can't focus on those results. And as long as you focus on the smaller things and try to focus on things that you can control, it works out for everybody.
Guys, every spring can be tough on outdoor sports, given the weather in the upper Midwest, as you know. But these past couple months have been brutal at time with the wind, the rain, the cold. That said, I think it speaks volumes for how the Hawkeyes responded. And I think that probably has a lot to do, Adam, start with you again, with Coach Heller and his approach. You don't play indoors, so it is what it is.
Yeah, you kind of just got to go out there. You got to realize that both teams are playing in the same conditions. And so it's just kind of who's me more mentally tough and just going to come out there and do what they need to do in order to get a win.
Hey, Keaton, how about Kyle Huckstorf, this week named the National Collegiate Player of the Week, for his conference record-setting 12 RBIs, 6 of 7 at the plate with 3 home runs, a Hawkeye 30-run output in a win over Indiana. Keaton, and then you, Peyton. You're Iowa's power guys. What was most impressive about Kyle's record-setting day? Keaton, lead us off.
Me and him we're close. He played center and I played right for most of the games this year, so we're always talking out there. We hit in the same hitting group for practice, so we kind of harp on each other and kind of mess with each other and have a little bit of fun in practice and mess with each other's swings a little bit. But obviously, like, he's a really hard worker. I'm awfully proud of what he did. It was a lot of fun to be able to witness that. It was a really fun game. Obviously, the start of it was a little nerve-wracking. But Adam's been great for us all year, so we want to go out there and pick him up. And with Kyle and that great game, I feel like he led the momentum leading into the comeback and allowing us to put up 30 runs, which I think is insane. It was by far the most insane baseball game I've ever been and played in my entire life. So.
Well, Peyton, Johnston's got a great program, high school program. You've seen a lot of offense in your young life. How about Kyle's performance that day against the Hoosiers?
3 home runs in a game is pretty crazy, especially when 2 of them came in 1 inning. That just doesn't happen very often. It's cool to see, especially from a guy like Kyle who works so hard. He's had his up and downs, but to see him spark that comeback for us was awesome.
Guys, hang with us. We'll come back and wrap up this week's Fight for Iowa podcast in just a minute.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Welcome back to our Fight for Iowa podcast. This week, a big week for Hawkeye baseball. We're talking with Adam Mazur, Keaton Anthony, and Peyton Williams. They led the Hawks to a 33-win season, number 2 spot in the Big Ten, and number 3 seed in the conference tournament this week. What's the mindset? What's the message, guys? Now you're going from a 50-game plus season to not one and done, but pretty close. What changes, Adam, if anything?
Honestly, not a whole lot. You kind of got to attack it the same way you attack the whole season, and just really worry about one game at a time. And I feel like that's really the big message here that we've been taking is just really focus on one game at a time, one opponent at a time, and not get caught looking too far ahead or looking past anyone. Penn State's gonna be a good competition. Haven't played them yet this season, so it'll be interesting to kind of see how they come out, and we'll just have to respond and attack them first and get after it.
Keaton, I would think with a tremendous gifted staff led by Coach Heller, that the game plan will be as solid as it can possibly get, right?
Yeah, I mean, like Adam harped on, no looking ahead to other opponents, taking it one pitch, one inning at a time, not dwelling on struggles that we might have had previously in the year. Throughout this tournament, we're going to need a lot of guys to step up. Pitchers that haven't really thrown much this year and might have struggled throughout the year. It's going to be kind of it could be a long weekend, but we're going to just need guys to step up and then kind of just put all the successes and all the times people may have struggled behind us, and kind of just take it as like kind of a new setting and kind of a restart button, I would say.
Peyton, postseason has a different feel to it. You're playing in a great stadium, Charles Schwab Field, in a great baseball town like Omaha. You grew up close to Omaha, so you know what this is all about.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to play in a Big Ten tournament. Last couple of seasons couldn't really do that. I've always came to the College World Series as a kid, so I've always been able to see this field. I mean, getting to play on it's going to be a whole new experience that I'm really going to want to take in. I mean, not going to worry too much about anything else. Just want to have a good time. Just keep doing what we've been doing, folks, one game at a time.
Well, guys, before we say goodbye here on our Fight for Iowa podcast, all the best to you, of course, going forward over the next several weeks, at least a month plus. You had a very emotional, I'm sure, senior night here a few days ago. What amazes me, that I think I counted a half a dozen seniors. A couple of those guys may have an opportunity to come back with this crazy COVID stretch, but when you see only 6 seniors on a roster of 40 plus guys, that's really impressive. The future looks great for the Hawkeyes. But a word about this small class, and if I may have missed somebody, hopefully not, but Nedved, Schultz, Butel, McCleary, Bauman, and of course Isaiah Fullard. It's great to have him healthy again. Just a word from each of you about what those seniors have meant to you. And Adam, let's lead off with you.
Being a new guy, it was a little nerve-wracking coming in, not really knowing anyone on the team, and those guys especially were just very welcoming and really established the family culture feel from the start. And I feel like we've really grown on that throughout the season, but it was a big foundation early on, and so they've meant a lot. Any questions that we've really had, you can always go to them, and no matter what kind of season each and every one of those guys have been having, they've always been leaders through.
Keaton, how about you?
Yeah, I fully agree with that. As kind of a younger kid coming in last year, they kind of put me under their wing, kind of showed me everything. Kind of just being from out of state, I feel like they kind of put an emphasis on kind of introducing me to the Midwest and showing me what Iowa baseball was about. But this year, I mean, it's been a lot different. I've been hit. Brett McCleary is also in our hitting group, so he's taken me under his wing, kind of talked to me just about hitting a lot. Kind of just showed me everything, talked about pitchers and stuff like that. So, I mean, they've been a great help to all of our success this year, and couldn't be more thankful for them. And obviously, we're going to miss them truly next year.
Peyton, I know you're proud of all the seniors, but how great is it to have Isaiah Fallard back healthy? He's a legacy player. His dad was a tremendous athlete at Iowa. It has to be heartwarming.
Yeah, I mean, especially when I'm playing first, he's second. We're always talking. It looks like we're probably having a conversation every pitch. But I mean, he's a great guy to have in the lineup. Great guy defensively. He's a good leader. I mean, he just makes everyone feel better when he's in the lineup and he's healthy. And a big thing that Heller's talked about, Coach Heller said, is always leave the program in a better spot. And I think all the seniors have really done their job of doing that.
Doing that, indeed they are. The Hawkeyes' number 30 national ranking is the first for the program since 2017, and it's the second time the Hawks have finished second in the Coach Rick Heller era. The Hawks have 4 top 4 finishes in Heller's 8 seasons. Now let's pause for an important word.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
Here we go. Exciting adventures await. Grab your bucket list and keep the fun going all summer long. Pitch a tent, grab a sleeping bag, and sleep as a family under the stars. Fire up the grill and host a backyard barbecue. Visit a local trail for a hike or a drive to a state park for an all-day family adventure. With all there is to do this summer, we encourage you to get outside and make new memories. Whatever you do this summer, Shields is right there with you.
This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Iowa pitcher Adam Mazur was named Big Ten Pitcher of the Year this past week. That's back-to-back seasons for Hawkeye hurlers. Trenton Wallace was voted MV pitcher last season. Joining Mazur as all-conference performers are left-handed pitcher Ben Butel, first baseman Peyton Williams, and utility man Keaton Anthony. Anthony and Brody Breck were named to the all-freshman team. That's this week's Fight for Iowa feature. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you, veterans, and go Hawks.
Hawkeye fans, remember to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Once you become a Fight for Iowa podcast subscriber, you'll automatically receive the latest episodes of the Fight for Iowa podcast, the Hawkeyes Voice podcast, Hawk Talk replays, exclusive game day content, and more. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.